I also want to just quickly go to a reaction that came in from Imran Khan. This is just a short while after he cast his vote earlier in the day. Imran Khan, in that reaction, reminded voters that he has been a sportsman for over 2 decades and has always played in the interest of Pakistan. He hopes that this time, the party that wants the best for Pakistan is voted to power. Take a listen into what Imran Khan had to say.
मैं आज सारे पाकिस्तानियों को कहता हूं कि वो आज निकल के वोट डालें। मैं ये नहीं कहता कि तहरीक इंसाफ को डालें, किसी भी पार्टी को डालें, लेकिन आप ये पाकिस्तान की तारीख का सबसे अहम इलेक्शन है। ये सबसे अहम इलेक्शन है पाकिस्तान की तारीख का, क्योंकि एक पहली दफा मौका मिला है कि 2 पार्टीज जिन्होंने बारियां ली हैं पिछले 30 साल से, ये मौका है कि स्टेटस को, यानी कि वो पार्टीज जो इस मुल्क के ऊपर कब्जा करके बैठी हुई थी, उनको शिकस्त देने का ये मौका है। और मैं सारे पाकिस्तानियों को कहूँगा कि मेरे लिए नहीं, इस मुल्क के बच्चों के लिए, हमारी आने वाली नस्लों के लिए, हमारे मुल्क के मुस्तकबिल के लिए सब निकलें। जो भी घरों में आज बैठे हुए हैं, जो मेरी बात सुन रहे हैं, ये आपका फ़र्ज़ है, आज अपने मुल्क के लिए फ़र्ज़ है। देखो, मैं हूँ एक खिलाड़ी जिसकी 21 साल की खेलों की ग्राउंडों की ट्रेनिंग है। जब तक आखिरी गेंद नहीं ना हो जाता, मैं कभी जीत नहीं मानता। मैं आखिरी गेंद तक देखूंगा, उसके बाद अल्लाह से दुआ करूंगा कि जो भी मेरी दुआ क्या है, जो मेरे मुल्क की बेहतरी है अल्लाह वो दे, यानी रिजल्ट वो जो मेरी मुल्क की बेहतरी है।
Now, that reaction from Imran Khan delivered outside the polling station has created controversy. The Election Commission of the country has taken note and has said this is a violation of the poll code. Media in Pakistan has also been asked to follow the code of conduct. Let me go back across to Imran Khan. Speaking a little bit in detail about the kind of promises that have been made by Imran Reham, not the first time that he is lashed out at the PMLN for corruption, but the very fact that his entire promise when it comes to governance, when it comes to tackling corruption, when it comes to strengthening state institutions to further boost trade and revitalize the economy. All of those are great on paper, sound great when spoken, but how believable and how practical are those promises that he's been making all throughout?
Well, first, Molly, I can't see you, so apologies. I can't see you, so I didn't know who I was speaking to. But Molly, let's take your comment and take Imran's comments one by one as well. So he starts off by, for one, a leader who doesn't understand the law, who doesn't understand that the election Commission does not allow that within the compound of a polling station you make a political speech or appeal for votes. That is illegal. It is not acceptable. And also, what was disturbing was the fact that the gentleman completely forgot that it's not only about himself. Somebody needs to gift him a shirt. It's all about me. It's not about him. He didn't even mention the fact that there were 30 lives lost in Quetta. And somebody who's so uninformed about something so serious, that is what is unnerving. And that is what is very, very disturbing and completely not only unethical and hurtful and insensitive, but as I said, illegal. Then he talks about status quo. I mean, how can he have the temerity to say something like that? Who is standing to his right? Who is standing to his left? He has status quo on either side of him. He has cronyism. He has people from the Pakistan People's Party, rejects from Pakistan People's Party, rejects from PMLN, those who were not given a right to candidacy this time round. He has collected all the trash from all the parties, and he cannot have any kind of moral high ground now to say that he is attacking status quo. He is indeed the status quo. He is supported by status quo. But once again, this is going to go unnoticed. And the fact that he is a khiladi, well, I'm sorry, but somebody needs to get this across to him that this is not a game of cricket. I think this is the problem. And if you think very deeply and analyze the fact that he still thinks like a bowler, an amazing bowler. We appreciated him for his bowling skills, but here, it's not legal to use every kind of ball to make sure you get rid of the batsman. So his psyche is that if it's not going to be a bouncer, if it's not going to be a spinner, he knows that his target as a sportsman, as a fast-paced bowler, is to either stump the batsman, get him run out, or and have him caught, and that is why he will use anything. So if people understand the fact that he is still very much a bowler whose main target is just to get the batsman out, he has to make sure that he gets the wickets. He's not bothered about any ethics while doing that. He's not bothered about any other kind of larger game. His vision is very much he has very much a tunnel vision, and that is the problem. His target was to get to the Prime Minister's seat. His target was to get Nawaz Sharif out, and other than that, beyond that, he doesn't see anything and cannot see anything, which is part of the problem. And Imran, of course, is not the only one. He might be the lucky one, the chosen one this time, but I don't really think that anyone really cares about Pakistan's prosperity. I don't think anybody cares about what's happened in Quetta today. They could have taken some action. Even the opposition could have done something in the last 5 years since APS, the biggest attack that terrorizes us to this day. We had the Balochistan attack only a couple of weeks ago. Which politician or which political party had the nerve or even the guts to remind the people connected or military and civil tensions dissolved just to get the National Action Plan to work? Nobody did. And so I'm sorry, but it's more rhetoric, again, violating the ECP code. And as far as the ECP is concerned, and they've taken notice of it, well, I'm sorry, there have been a lot more violations. We've had a lecturer from Taxila University sending out a voice recording yesterday, and this was going viral on all social media forums, where he is telling you how he is being dictated by the major on duty and the subedar, who tells him exactly how to conduct themselves in the polling stations. And the pain in the voice of this this teacher was, and the depression, you could hear it. It was very audible that he's talking about how this cannot be fair and free elections, and that's the state of affairs in Pakistan today. So I'm sorry, but there's just so many things to criticize that I really don't know where to start and where to stop.
The real issue is getting lost in translation, getting covered up by the rhetoric that we've seen coming in from the statements made by not just one leader but several cutting across party lines, Reham, but the promises that have been made specifically by PMLN when it comes to the economic issue, when it comes to fighting corruption. That, of course, also getting questioned time and again, given that their topmost leadership is behind bars on corruption charges.
It's not only their corruption charges that is the problem. You see, it should have been accountability across the board. I've said this time and time again. And when the Panama Papers came out, this was, if it had been done in good faith, and if there was a clear intention to remove disparity between the classes and to make sure that there's equality, then we could have pushed good new bills through the parliament. But sadly, people like Imran have attended parliament only 5% of the time. Of course, the sitting prime minister at the time, Nawaz Sharif, also was allegedly quite busy in meetings. So if you don't sit in parliament and talk about new bills and make sure that there are no offshore tax havens, that there is no evasion of taxes, I mean, really, I think none of them can claim that they are completely clean when it comes to paying taxes, or they're people who are sitting in their party on important positions. Their right-hand men have been paying taxes, or their spouses have been paying taxes. So it's the lack of seriousness, and it's because we don't have a vibrant parliament. And I don't see that happening when you have only extremist elements now sitting in parliament, when you have people who have either fake degrees or have violated conduct through their career in the last 5 years. I don't really see credible people with capacity sitting in parliament now addressing these issues. issues, tackling these issues head on. We should have said that it should be illegal for anyone to have offshore tax havens. My main crib with the PMLN has been, and I've been very vocal for the last 5 years, is this problem with Pakistani leadership of taking cash injections. And Imran is guilty of that in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. They've taken loans that is going to be impossible, virtually impossible to return. And it's going to take at least 40 years for us to return the 3 trillion debt that we have in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Similarly, the PMLN have taken repeated cash injections, sometimes from the Saudis and sometimes, of course, even the CPEC, if you think about it, this is a loan. It's not a benevolence. And so there needs to be work on the ground in Pakistan to work on improving our manufacturing and production industry. There have been no jobs created. So we are making infrastructure. We're making infrastructure where the politicians and people affiliated businesses with them are getting kickbacks and commission on those infrastructure projects. And we're just making infrastructure for the Chinese to come in or for other people to come in. We're not really doing anything for our people, for our youth. Every party talks about our gold asset, which is, of course, the youth. 65 to 70% of them are under the age of 30. But what have we done? Have we created any jobs under the CPEC? Not one party has created jobs under the CPEC for Pakistani youth. And that is actually part of their corporates, they're part of the CSR of these companies who are coming in, investing from China into Pakistan. But nobody's asking them to create jobs for Pakistani youngsters or for Pakistani small to middle businesses. So I think that the progression of the same old, since we've come into existence. So for the last 70 years, the same people who were standing with other political parties coming into power, they're the ones who are now coming into power on this wave that's been created for Imran. So I see actually a very, very bleak future ahead. And I hope that I'm wrong. And I hope that the power of the vote and the democratic process wins the planning. I hope that more vibrant leadership comes through. But the way things are happening even today, if you look at the turnout this morning was less than 33%. That's pretty dismal. Hopefully in the evening when the weather and when the sun goes down, perhaps we'll have more people turning up and turning out for the vote. But at the moment it looks pretty bleak.